The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most famous and enduring structures in the world, was built approximately 4,500 years ago in Egypt. It continues to amaze and intrigue people even today. Standing at an original height of about 147 meters, now slightly reduced due to erosion, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 4,000 years. This architectural marvel is part of the larger Giza Pyramid Complex, which includes two other large pyramids, the Pyramid of Khafre and the Pyramid of Menkaure, as well as the iconic Great Sphinx. Despite the absence of modern technology like cranes, bulldozers, and even basic tools such as wheels, the ancient Egyptians were able to construct these massive structures that have withstood the test of time. How this was achieved remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of human history. The pyramid's enormous weight, estimated at around 6 million tons, dwarfs even today's tallest structure, the Burj Khalifa, which weighs only about 500,000 tons. The construction of the pyramid involved the transportation of huge stones, some of which weighed between 2.5 to 80 tons. These stones were stacked with incredible precision, despite the lack of advanced tools for carving or moving heavy materials. Even more remarkable is the fact that the pyramid has survived for more than 4,500 years, enduring extreme weather conditions like hot summers, storms, torrential rains, and the general effects of weathering. No other surviving structure from that period comes close to matching the Great Pyramid in terms of both age and scale. The mystery of how such an enormous structure was built has puzzled scholars, historians, and archaeologists for centuries. The absence of modern construction methods and tools only adds to the intrigue. Yet, despite the passage of millennia and the lack of written records detailing the construction process, we have pieced together some information about how it might have been built. The Great Pyramid, known as Khufu's Pyramid, was likely constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, who ruled Egypt during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. Pharaohs were the rulers of ancient Egypt, and they often commissioned large construction projects like temples, monuments, and pyramids to demonstrate their power and prepare for the afterlife. The specifics of Khufu's reign remain a topic of debate among historians, with some suggesting he ruled for about 23 years, while others propose he ruled for as long as 34 or even 60 years. While details of Khufu's life and reign are still shrouded in mystery, we know that his pyramid was intended to serve as a grand tomb. Ancient Egyptians believed strongly in the afterlife, and they constructed tombs, like pyramids, to house the bodies of their pharaohs and provide them with everything they would need in the next world. This included food, treasures, jewelry, furniture, and other necessities, which would be buried alongside the pharaoh in the tomb. After the pharaoh's death, his body was mummified and placed in a sarcophagus, a stone or wooden coffin designed to protect the body for eternity. Although we have a general understanding of the purpose of the pyramids, the specific details of the Great Pyramid of Giza's construction remain elusive. When archaeologists entered the pyramid, they found 3 relics and an empty sarcophagus. The sarcophagus is believed to have belonged to Khufu, but no treasures were found, likely because the tomb had been looted long before archaeologists could explore it. This absence of evidence has led to alternative theories and speculations about the pyramid's original purpose. One popular theory suggests that the Great Pyramid was not a tomb but rather a power plant capable of generating electricity. Proponents of this theory argue that ancient Egyptians were far more technologically advanced than we give them credit for, citing certain ancient artworks as evidence that the Egyptians had invented something akin to the modern light bulb. However, no substantial proof has been found to support these claims, and they are generally dismissed by mainstream historians as conspiracy theories. Another alternative theory is that the pyramids were used as granaries for storing crops, a theory proposed by American politician Ben Carson in 1998. According to Carson, his personal theory was that Joseph, a biblical figure, built the pyramids to store grain. This idea is rooted in religious beliefs rather than historical evidence, and it has been widely criticized by experts. Today, the overwhelming consensus among archaeologists and historians is that the pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs and that they played a crucial role in ancient Egyptian religious and cultural practices. The construction of the Great Pyramid, which took place over a period of about 20 years, is still a subject of intense study and debate. The idea that the pyramids were built using slave labor is a common misconception, likely originating from the writings of the ancient Greek historian Herodotus. However, modern research has shown that the workers who built the pyramids were not slaves but rather skilled laborers who were well-fed and housed in nearby workers' villages. These workers were part of a large, well-organized labor force that included not only builders but also farmers, craftsmen, and other specialists who contributed to the construction of the pyramid during times when they were not occupied with agricultural work. It is estimated that between 20,000 and 30,000 laborers worked on the construction of the Great Pyramid. These workers likely labored for about 10 hours a day, using rudimentary tools made primarily of copper. The stone blocks used in the construction were quarried locally, with some stones being transported from quarries as far as 800 kilometers away in southern Egypt. The method by which the ancient Egyptians cut and transported these massive stones is another area of great interest. While copper tools were sufficient for cutting softer limestone, harder stones like granite required the use of dolerite, a much harder stone, to break them apart. Wooden wedges soaked in water were also used to split rocks by taking advantage of the expansion of wood when wet. Moving the stones from the quarries to the construction site posed an even greater challenge, especially since wheels were not yet in use for transportation during this period. A prevailing theory suggests that the stones were transported by rafts along the Nile River, which flows near the Giza Plateau. Once the stones were brought to the site, they were likely moved using sledges, as depicted in ancient Egyptian artwork. In one painting found in the tomb of Jehuti-Hotep, dated to around 1900 BC, 170 workers are shown pulling a large statue on a sledge. A man pouring water onto the sand in front of the sledge suggests that the Egyptians may have used water to reduce friction, making it easier to drag heavy objects across the desert sand. The question of how the massive stone blocks were lifted and placed on top of each other without the use of modern machinery is even more perplexing. Some scholars believe that ramps were used to raise the stones to the necessary height. A straight ramp or a spiral ramp may have been constructed alongside the pyramid, with workers using ropes and wooden levers to move the stones into place. In 2015, a team of English and French archaeologists uncovered a wooden ramp in an ancient quarry, suggesting that such ramps were indeed used during the construction of the pyramids. According to one theory, the ramp system was designed to minimize the angle of the slope, making it easier to move the stones upward. Another theory suggests that the ancient Egyptians may have used a system of pulleys or levers to lift the stones. A similar mechanism, known as a shaduf, was used for centuries in Egypt to lift water from the Nile River for irrigation. This simple machine consists of a long pole with a weight on one end and a bucket on the other, allowing the user to easily raise and lower the bucket of water. A comparable system could have been used to lift the stones during the construction of the pyramids. Despite these theories, many aspects of the construction process remain unexplained, particularly the speed at which the pyramid was built. Given the estimated time frame of 20 years, and the sheer number of stones involved, workers would have had to place a new stone block every 3 minutes, working day and night without interruption. This seems highly unlikely, leading some scholars to suggest that we are still missing critical information about how the construction was organized and carried out. One of the most remarkable features of the Great Pyramid is its precise alignment with the cardinal directions. The pyramid sides are aligned almost perfectly with the north, south, east, and west, with an error of only about 1/15 of a degree. This level of precision is astonishing, especially considering that the Egyptians did not have access to modern tools like compasses or GPS. Several theories have been proposed to explain how the Egyptians achieved such accuracy. One popular theory suggests that they used the stars, particularly the constellation of Orion, to align the pyramid. Another theory posits that they observed the shadow of the sun during the autumn equinox when the day and night are of equal length, to determine the east-west direction. In 1989, Robert Bauval, an author and Egyptology enthusiast, proposed the Orion correlation theory, which claimed that the 3 pyramids of Giza were aligned with the 3 stars in Orion's belt. While this theory gained significant attention, it has been widely criticized by mainstream scholars, who argue that the alignment is not exact and that the pyramids were not built simultaneously. Additionally, astronomical evidence suggests that the position of the stars in Orion's belt has shifted over the millennia, further weakening the correlation. Another aspect of the pyramids that has attracted much speculation is the mortar used in their construction. Although scientists have been able to analyze the chemical composition of the mortar, they have not been able to replicate it. The ancient Egyptians used a unique mixture that has contributed to the pyramid's incredible durability, allowing it to withstand thousands of years of weathering and erosion. However, the exact process by which this mortar was created remains a mystery, adding yet another layer of intrigue to the Great Pyramid. Over the centuries, the pyramids have inspired countless legends, myths, and conspiracy theories. Some believe that the pyramids were built with the help of extraterrestrial beings, citing the extraordinary precision of the construction as evidence. Others suggest that the pyramids were part of a global network of energy-generating structures, possibly designed by an advanced, lost civilization. These ideas, while fascinating, lack credible evidence and are generally dismissed by the scientific community. Despite the many questions that remain unanswered, one thing is certain: the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a testament to the ingenuity, ambition, and skill of the ancient Egyptians. It is a symbol of their enduring legacy and an architectural wonder that continues to captivate and inspire people around the world.